What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the forest. My name is Splattercat, and unfortunately I've come to the revelation that the game does not save. And so essentially what we're going to do from now on, I wanted to hit this right out in the open. I wanted to get started on a good foot. Essentially what we're going to do with the forest is I'm just going to play it like a Nintendo game back in the 80s. And I'm just going to play it until I have to turn the game off, and hopefully that gets us far enough to where we can enjoy the game a little bit. Hopefully we'll get like 10 episodes out of it, and at that point the game will be fixed, and then we can actually do a real LP. So for right now, we've crashed our plane again. We're back where we started off. It's been a little bit rough. It's been a rough day. I mean, anytime you find yourself plane crashed on a cannibal island, I think there's probably some serious aspects of your life you've got to think about reconsidering. But we landed right next to this little campsite and this Komodo dragon, which is now about to be dinner. Come here, you big lizardy bastard. Come here. Oh, I am so terrible at murder. Why am I so bad at this? Modern society has spoiled me. Well, we'll get the bunnies. They're a little bit slower. There we go, the opiate bunnies. I don't know what it is. I think it's something in the plants or something, but these bunnies are just like, eh, and they just kind of walk around doing their own thing. I will, however, murder a Komodo dragon before we get out of this episode. I will kill you, lizard. It is coming, but we probably don't want to hang around the fuselage for too long because this tends to be a giant attraction. This is basically a Disneyland for cabernals. They love this place. They come here, they're like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. They sit around, they take pictures, they have family decapitations. Oh good, there's the Moose Lodge. I think we actually crashed. That's kind of funny. I think we've crashed in the same spot that we crashed in the last time. If you're having performance issues with this game, by the way, I would suggest you turn off shadows. Shadows appear to be the trigger for everything in this game. The second I got rid of shadows, my frame rate went back up to like 60 per second. So if you're having issues playing the game and you just can't get your frame rate, there we go, got him. I told you I was going to get a lizard by the end of this. Now, why do I want to kill the lizard? Well, we want to take care of the skinned lizard right now, because he gives you a skin, and if you put it on, you see this little yellow bar right here? It gives you armor. And so basically got a little bit of Doom action going on right now, where you can basically wear the skins of the things that you've murdered in order to make yourself more resilient to attack. I'm going to pick up some sticks here. We've got enough rocks. Do we have enough sticks? We probably have enough of that as well. And then I think we're just going to head on into the forest, and we're going to try and do our best to avoid any of the bloody-lipped cabernals that we possibly can. Ooh, shaving cream? Why can't we bring the shaving cream? You know, if you can freeze shaving cream, I shouldn't be giving kids ideas here, but you can make a shaving cream bomb, which is pretty hilarious. If you freeze shaving cream, and don't do this, by the way, if you freeze shaving cream in the freezer, and then you need a gas mask to do this, so don't go cutting open any cans. But anyways, you basically, oh good, there's a severed head over here. Maybe I won't explain how to do that. I'll leave it to your imagination. There's this thing called Google that I'm sure you guys are Oh, is there a cave? Oh my, there's a cave. Okay, so I'm not totally sold that this is the best idea, but let's go have a look. That was a little bit janky. If we press the L key, we can use a lighter. And my hope is that we don't come across anything too serious down in here, because there is the distinct possibility that there is just a giant kind of crevice full of nudie men down in here. And painty-faced nudie men are not what I'm looking for at the moment. Oh my god, it is so dark. This is ridiculous. If this lighter goes out, I swear to god, I'm going to pee myself. I'm going to pee myself with the highest velocity possible. It is going to be super rowdy. Let me see if... Oh, painty-faced nudie men. I see him. There's like 50 of them. Turn off the lighter. Turn off the lighter. We aren't here. We're a ghost. Okay, we're still here, but we're leaving. We're leaving as quickly as possible because we have this stupid little plane axe, and this thing is not going to help us. This thing barely qualifies as a hatchet. It's essentially like, I don't even know what to call it. It's basically a pocket knife on a stick or something. Get rid of the lighter now, and we don't want to be anywhere near here because they're going to go out on the hunt pretty soon. And so let's bail out. This is definitely qualifying as one of those bail type situations where you're like, nope, I need a bondsman. But anyways, I think there should be water down here, like a beach or something. Yeah, and we want to scout this out pretty well and figure out a good position for our base. Now, don't build anything on the beach. That is one piece of advice that I would give you, is that you should not be... That was weird. This shadow like came out of nowhere. Ooh, a spear. Okay, so we've got ourselves a simple spear now. There we go. So we can give things the pokey poke. Now what I will tell you is that you should not poke dead bodies with sticks. This is not a stand by me situation in which the poking of dead bodies with sticks is encouraged. In fact, it is a terrible, terrible idea. As you will learn from my stream, if you poke dead bodies with sticks, they have the tendency to explode like they're packed with nitroglycerin. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and it murders your character. Over here we have an example of the artistic advances of the cavernal people. There it is right there. It's a little bit abstract. I feel as though they definitely need to work with color a little bit better. And the crossbar, I would have put a little bit lower. But much beyond that point, it's a burgeoning culture with a thriving artistic community. And so I'm not going to put them down because I'm interested in seeing their work later on. I don't think this is a great place for a base either. I tend to pick my base location by where the most food respawns. And so what we want to look out for is we really we really want to find a spot where there will be berries, there will be something edible around. However, that cave is still just around the river bend. I don't want to sound too Pocahontas about this whole thing, but just around the river bend is a very, very real possibility right now. I have built a base in this thicket before. In fact, this is where I built my base in the stream. You may see it as being familiar. That's because we've been here before. I'm not going to build right here. Instead, I think I'm going to go off to the left. This area is still reasonably high traffic with cabernals. I would prefer to not be in any sort of traffic area with cabernals. They're bad enough already, but once you put them behind the wheel of a vehicle, oh my god, they are like slaughter in motion. So I think what we'll do is we'll head inland right here. Oh, I found, our fuselage actually crashed right next to the location where we were in the stream. Okay, well that's an interesting thing to know. I've basically got a sharpened pointy stick right now, and it's not going to be the best thing to defend myself with. Knowing basically the layout of the island, I think my best plan right now may be to head off this way. And if we cut inland a little bit, as I recall, there's a bunch of berry bushes over here and a lake. Now there's no fish in the lake, as I recall, but there's enough berry bushes to where I think we can get by for a while. And yeah, I think we found that just now. There it is right there. There's the lake with the little boat that we found at the end of our first stream episode. The island is indeed the same every single time you play, so that's one thing you're going to want to be aware of. The island does not randomly generate. However, every time your plane crashes, it puts you in a random spot. I'm thinking that this is it. I'm going to call this it right now. This is definitely it. We're going to be like an 8-year-old, and we're going to say that this spot is it. And so what we need to do is let's combine a stick with a rock, and that's going to make us a hand axe. Somehow a stick shoved through a rock is better than the axe that you start with, but this looks like a good clearing for us to start out building a base. And so while our stamina is still high enough to do so, I'm going to get going. We still can't save the game, so like I said, we're in Nintendo mode right now. We're basically playing this like a roguelike. We're going to play it till we die. I'm going to play all day to get you guys as many episodes as possible. I only slept like 3 hours last night, so I'm probably going to get a little bit loopy by the... Oh, the tree is trying to fall on me. Saboteur. And so it looks as though even nature itself is trying to annihilate me at this point. That's okay. I don't blame nature. I've lived kind of a rough life. You don't know the things that this character has done before he got to this island. I mean, he is a horrible, horrible human being. I'm not even talking like Soldier of Fortune level. He's a killer. He's a killer. He's like Deadpool meets Lobo meets... I don't even know. Oh, it became sticks. It didn't become logs. That sucks. Those little tiny trees are always so disappointing to me. Like, I did my best. I was trying to be the logs you wanted me to be, and I just couldn't do it. Like, I know you tried your best, but I guess your best wasn't good enough, to quote the old song. Come on, tree. I'm chopping you down with a rounded rock. I understand that this feels like it's going to take a lifetime, but I'm going to chop down as many of these trees as I can to give myself a little bit better of a peripheral vision to see any of the bad guys that might be coming around later on. We're going to booby trap the hell out of this hillside. I mean, there's going to be traps everywhere. It's going to be very, very nasty. Now, you do want to be aware of the fact that your traps will be triggered by bunnies, Komodo dragons, birds, just about anything that stumbles across them. So that enormous spike trap you created can very rapidly... Oh, and that tree's going to try and kill me too. I guess that makes sense since I've already been trying to murder him via rock on a stick, but... It's the greatest tool ever invented. Purchase Rock on a Stick now for $19.99 or in 5 easy installments of $4 each. Rock on a Stick is only available for the next 2 weeks, so order fast. Supplies are limited. Rock on a Stick seems like an item that even Billy Mays might be able to sell. I mean, Billy Mays was pretty good at selling a lot of things, but Rock on a Stick, I think, might tap out his resources. Oh, good, we're clean. Hello, little bird. Welcome to our picturesque Disney setting where cabernals are trying to eat us. I think I'm going to start out with just a little hut over here. So let's start with that. We're a little bit shaky right now, which means we're hungry. We're going to do a hunting lodge, and we're just going to plop it down right over here. Hunting lodges, they make plops when you drop them. That's a lesser known fact about hunting lodges, but it does occur. We'll go ahead and throw that in. We've got 5 stones and 5 sticks, so this should be reasonably quick. I think I've got most of the materials that I need to get this base up and running pretty rapidly so that we don't spend too much time in this episode doing the same thing that we did in the previous one. However, in the case that we do, I apologize. I wish the game would save. I wish it would save for me. Alas, it doth not. So we are forced to kind of exist within the confines of the rule set that has been placed before us. Rules. Who likes those? Society doesn't need those. It doesn't function any better for having them. It looks like a giant grave plot over here, but I'm going to walk away from that and just not think about it for right now because that's how I deal with my problems is I just don't think about them. I mean, it hasn't worked out that great so far in life, but it's worked out reasonably well, so I see no reason to abandon the practice. I mean, I adopted it already. The paperwork's already signed, so we might as well stick with it. And there it is, our first shelter, so we can rest if we need to. I've also got food, I think. Yeah, we've got a bunny and we've got a lizard, so we've got a little bit of time on our hands before we're going to have to eat anything. We've also got a couple of chocolate bars and a couple of sodas, so that should be okay. There's no food around this area, but I do know exactly where the food is at, so we shouldn't have too much of a problem tracking that down. Let's go ahead and start getting ourselves a log supply. And additionally, we will also make a little campfire over here. Ooh, a free stick. Hooray! You gotta pick your little victories when you're out in the middle of the wilderness. Things like I found a little stick might be that thing that gets you through the day and helps you sleep at night. You never know. I'm gonna go ahead and chop down all of the trees around our base. We've got a lot of forest, and I think that's a very, very important part about pitching your first base is that you absolutely 100% I said 100 cent. 100 cent, it sounds like double the rapper that 50 Cent might be. But anyways, you have to be 100% sure that you've got a large supply of logs as you go through. That's going to be one of the biggest things that I've noticed through playing the game is that if you don't have a supply of logs, you spend far, far, far too much time running back and forth between areas. And at that point, it's almost kind of worthless. It's just a giant hassle to get anything built. I'm going to bring all this back up the hill. And we're just going to drop it behind this stone because we can do that. And it does shrink the size of the logs, by the way. There's something about us. There's something about us that causes the logs to lose a large amount of their girth. I don't know what it is, but I haven't asked because I feel like the answer is probably offensive and embarrassing. So I just let it hang there in the air, and I just assume that the logs get smaller because they're trying to be convenient for my building pleasure. Why won't this tree chop? Like, why do you hate me, tree? Why do you hate me? Alright, well, I guess I'm out of energy. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a permanent campfire right here. There it is. Make ourselves a little fire pit right on the opposite side of this stone. Hopefully it doesn't burn our house down. We need a bunch more rocks. Oh, damn. Alright, let's go run around and we'll gather some boulders here to help out with our campfire. I see a bunch off in the distance. They don't do too well at hiding. As a geologist, rocks like to hide occasionally, but largely they're pretty terrible at hide and seek. It is not their game of choice. It is not their forte. I don't see any rocks right now, so actually, as I say that, they might be trying to disprove me and embarrass me. Like, ah, there's one. Found you. Gotcha. Ooh, there's a whole bunch of sticks over here. Just like a Stickishborg. Alright, well, having found the Stickishborg, I think I will pick up as many... Ooh, there's a whole bunch of them more. Damn, it's like... This is basically a cornucopia of sticks. A stickicopia. Or a stick-cornucopia. There we go. I like that a little bit better. Stick-cornucopia, I think, flows a little bit better than cornucopia of sticks. Here's a rock. We need you. Definitely going to be using you. Ooh, blackberries. Hello. Let's get some energy back by eating some of the blackberries. You want to be careful. You don't want to eat the twin berries. I'll try and do my best to point them out to you, but the easy way to identify them... Oh, there's a large campsite down there. We'll come back and investigate that in a minute. I know where it is. So these right here, you see how they're clustered in groups of what looks like 6? These are okay. The ones that are clustered in groups of 6, totally alright. You can eat those and nothing terrible is going to happen. However, if they're clustered in groups of 2, this becomes a very large concern for you because now no longer are you out in the middle of the forest starving. Now you're out in the middle of the forest starving with explosive shotgun diarrhea. And so that is not conducive to surviving over the long term. In fact, that's a great way to make yourself dehydrated. The game tends to represent it by just making you lose health. I imagine that my character spends his time running around the forest doing the whirlybird while running from cavernals and also leaving large trails of refuse behind him. And so that's just the way that I personally picture it. If indeed you find that to be gross, or if you're not able to do it, that's fine. I don't judge you for it. That's just for me. I enjoy the comedy of the situation. What could be funnier? What could be funnier? Well, a lot of things. There's a rock in the middle of our bed. And that's going to be the capstone of the final thing that we cook. And so there it is. I'm not going to start the fire right now because I don't think that we need it. Instead, I'm going to build us a log holder off here to the side. The log holder, the last time I tried, did not work very well. We're still going to try it because I'm thinking maybe it was bugged. But somebody said that they saw it work in somebody else's stream. So I'm going to give it a go. And this right here is a log holster. The log holster, as you might assume, is not doing anything tricky. It's not trying to fool you with its name. It actually, indeed, just does hold logs. A large amount of them, in fact, so that you can build your base a little bit faster once you centralize the logs in a specific location. However, it does not appear to be working very well as of the last time I played the game, and so I'm going to give it a shot one more time. But log holster, if you betray me, log holster, this is your last chance. You are outside the circle of trust if you mess this up again. So just be aware, log holster. You've been warned. You are on notice, amigo or amiga. I don't know if the log holster is a female or a male. I'm going to assume, given the objects that it's crafted out of, the cylindrical objects that I've created it from, that it's a male. I'm going to go for that, and then we're just going to stick with it for now. And if that's it, then that's it. Now let's try this thing out and see if maybe it's been fixed. I'm going to... This tree is looking awfully gnawed on. I would love for it to fall down. I don't like my trees to have this appearance. I prefer for them to be completely and totally finished or otherwise unchewed upon. They either need to be pristine or they need to be... And the tree's falling on my house. Great. That right there. Sturdy construction right there. Sturdy construction. That is a lifetime of experience long one. Oh, it does work now. Okay, so let's... Nice. Okay, so I can centralize my log supply now. I'm going to do that so that it saves us a little bit of speed in the next episode so that we can have a giant crafting spree the next time we play. I don't know how many this holds, but we're going to test it out. Let's see. I think we've probably got, well, we've got about, I think, 5-10 minutes left in the episode. So yeah, let's just spend our time stocking up this log holster. We'll pick up everything that we've knocked over. And once we've completed that, we've picked up all the random bits of detritus that are all over. I love that word, detritus. It's a great word. Detritus sounds like the kind of guy who would wield a trident. It would have awesome heavy metal locks and just be like, like you would summon him with lightning. You'd be like, come detritus, join me on my adventures. He'd be like, I am here. And that would be it. And then detritus would be there to be like, all right, so like, what do you do right now aside from sing that little song? And he'd be like, not much. And he'd just kind of eat extra food, and then I would have one more person to provide for. Our log holster, I don't know when it gets full. It's already full. Damn you, log holster. Damn you. All right, well, it appears to be holding several logs. We will take the rest, and we will just plop them down right here. There we are. Be careful. Sometimes when the logs run into you, they're less than friendly. They like to bite. Watch out for that. They do have a bit of a mouth on them. And so when you drop them around, they have the tendency to kind of hurt you. I'm going to build another log holder, I think. Let's go ahead and build a second one. And we'll just line it up with the previous. There we go. And we'll throw some sticks on in. We're not starving to death yet, which is always a good thing. I feel like I'm making excuses whenever I say that. But we're not starving to death. Everything's okay. Why am I carrying a log around with me? That's a little bit weird. Just carrying a log around, trying to get my cardio in. You never know. And it looks like nightfall is now coming along. And as serene and magical as that sounds in a natural setting, I feel like cannibals actually act as the negation. They are the negation of any pleasantness that might be associated with being out in the forest. Just a small inkling that I get. So after I get the second log holster done, what I'm going to do is off camera, I'm going to chop down some more trees because I don't get the feeling... What the hell was that? I don't get the feeling that people want to watch me chop trees for 25 minutes. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop some trees in between episodes. Once I chop those trees and we've got a nice supply of logs, we're going to get started building our base in the central area. I don't know how well it's going to work. We're going to build ourselves a log cabin. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully it comes with maple syrup because maple syrup is amazing. It's one of those necessities of life that I don't feel like I can get by without. But for the time being, we've got a moment. So let's hang out here. Oh, ass. And so we've got cavernals, which means we are running the hell away. I mean, I may try to fight them, but I don't think they're going to be okay. Oh, that one's got a headlamp. That one has us beaten in terms of luminary superior. Oh, and that one's nude. There we go. Give him a beat down. Let him see what's up. Ow. Oh, there's another one. Okay, there's one right there. Ow. Asshole. Let me see if I can murder him before anything goes wrong here. This hatchet, surprisingly ineffective at human murder. Oh. What the hell? Jesus. Over here fighting the Princess Mononoke of cannibals. Alright, well, we've been knocked the hell out. And the nice thing about this is that your first death is a freebie. And so, in the interest of freebies, we find ourselves locked up in the Cavernal Fridge, which is essentially just this cave that they like to keep cool. I don't know if you saw that in the first episode, but anyways, you're seeing it now. The nice thing about this is it basically ensures that nobody's ever going to kill us ever again. And so if we look at all these bodies, you'll notice a little number in the bottom right hand, or the bottom left. I know my right from my left. I didn't have to repeat kindergarten. You will notice that we are finding other passengers. I don't know if that's like an achievement or a goal or like what we're trying to do by finding the other dead passengers. I didn't see any of these people on the plane, by the way. So I'm going to assume that they were all using like weird cloaking things like Predator, just sitting around in the corners of the plane being like... And that's just where I'm going to leave it. Over in this corner of the cave, you will find the most awesome thing ever. It's called a flare gun, and it basically means that the cannibals are never going to kill you ever again. This thing is essentially a limitless gat that allows you to lay the smack down and also rob and run up on any enemy that thinks that it's hard enough to take you. So we're going to hold on to this for a little while, and I think this is looking like a great spot for me to break off this episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle for the next episode of our lovely little LP of The Forest. We're going to play this out as long as I can. I'm going to try and keep the game running all day and see how many episodes I can record before inevitably it crashes or I have to shut the game down. I look forward to seeing you in the next part. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.